pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hopefully everybody received their minutes, and if there are no changes to the minutes, may I get a motion to adopt the minutes as distributed?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Mr.
Yes.
Supervisor, so one of the minutes was from the October 4th special meeting for the budget.
Okay.
So the two gentlemen will abstain, and then if you, and Mr. Drossi or Mr. Drossis could just make the motion to accept those. Would that be okay? The October 4th minutes?
Oh,
That little meeting?
yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so the October 7th, you just did, so October 4th,
Well, we got to vote on
those minutes.
yeah.
You gotta vote on this.
That's got to be a separate motion, though. October 4th.
They haven't voted on the 7th yet, so that's what.
No, we haven't
Okay, you
voted.
said
on
all
the
minutes, and
then
then
we'll-
they said aye, so which one was that for?
That was for the,
So,
the 7th.
Okay, so now the 4th,
Now we'll do the 4th.
okay,
Okay.
just clarify, thank you.
All right. The 4th was our special meeting, and that was so that we could be presented with the budget from the town clerk. So may I get a motion to adopt those minutes from that meeting?
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions?
I abstain. I abstain.
Okay. Motion carried. Citizens' comments. Do I have anybody that would like to speak tonight?
Am I supposed to? Okay.
Sure.
All right. Excuse me. All right, good evening. My name is Nancy Thomas. Oops. But I'll fall over. I'm here on behalf of the cemeteries. I'm a trustee for the Lysander Union Cemetery. And I have spoken to Sherry Woods and the board for the Plainville Cemetery. And I've spoken to Connie Warner for the Jacksonville Cemetery. Those are the three independent ones that we used to have that you've helped us with along the way. Okay, so what I'm asking, or why I want you to take into consideration, is that I would like to know if we could, for the Plainville Cemetery and Lysander, because we're a very small cemetery. We don't generate a lot of, if we have 2 burials a year, 3 tops, and that's the same way with Plainville. Not so with Jacksonville. And we don't sell plots. We might sell 1, and Plainville might sell 1. So, and I want to thank the board for the last 3 to 4 years that have put that $10,000 away, and Jacksonville said too. They very much appreciate the money. That's helped them greatly. But Jacksonville, when I talked to them, declined. They did not say, they said they didn't want any more money. Well, they must generate a lot more money than we do because we need it. I mean, our cemetery is struggling just as much as Plainville is. Our costs have all gone up, after 3 and 4 years. You're mowing, we have to have our whole hedgerow and all along the back is overtaking our headstones right now. So now we're getting an estimate on somebody coming in and knocking back everything because it's encroaching our headstones. And what I talked to Sherry Woods to is that her costs have gone up, our costs have gone up, but our income coming in is not going up any more than when we talked to you 3 or 4 years ago, when we even asked for the money. Like I said, Jacksonville is declining. They said they don't need the extra money, and they're very thankful for what you got, and they want to continue getting their part of the 10,000 because it still helps them. But what I want to ask for is if you would consider another 1,000 for the Lysander Cemetery and another 1,000 for the Plainville Cemetery to be put into the budget this year.
Okay.
For, you know, like I said, we need it. And it's very dear and near to my heart about this, about the cemeteries and trying to keep it up. We've still got a shed we gotta fix, we got a tree, we got this, we got that. Yes, that $3,300 and some odd dollars really helps, and we really appreciate it, and so doesn't Plainville. But I'm just asking if you will take into consideration in the budget for next year, giving Lysander and Plainville an extra $1,000.
Okay,
That's my pitch to you anyways,
all right.
okay?
Well, the next meeting will be, we'll have a public hearing on that, so,
Okay,
yeah, but,
alrighty,
all right.
yeah, and thank you very much for your time, and we really appreciate the money that we have gotten. It's helped a lot.
So you're looking for $1,000
For
additional
Plainville and Lysander.
Lysander, and Jacksonville's good with,
Jacksonville declined.
okay?
I said, well, maybe you're doing really, really good and you got the money, but Plainville and us, we're not generating.
Well, when you say
what we-
decline, they didn't decline they're what they normally get. They just didn't need any extra. Or they.
Right, they're not declining
They're
they
not
still
asking
want
for
that part of that
I just want
10,000.
to be clear about that.
Oh, no, they still want that
Okay.
part of that 10,000. But when I said I was coming in to ask
Mhm.
for us too, I said, I will ask for Jacksonville too. And she said no.
Okay,
So that's their problem. I mean, I'm looking after my cemetery, which we need the help, and I know Plainville does too. We're
Okay.
very small cemeteries that don't generate a
Sure.
lot of money.
no, we understand.
Yeah. So that's why I'm asking. If you will consider giving those 2 cemeteries extra
What's
money.
that?
That hedgerow, we could probably help them with a roadside mower.
Okay.
So we may be able to help you out with taking that hedgerow, pushing that hedgerow back with our roadside mower. So,
Well, I know Bonnie Keller, which is our secretary, she's called Contour Mowing. That's who does our mowing and our trimming.
Okay.
And was gonna get an estimate from them on how much to do it.
yeah, I mean, if it's something that we can help you out with, we can, I know we have some equipment that might be able to help you out with it.
All right, I can mention that to Bonnie too, if somebody
Okay.
could come out and look at it, I guess,
Yeah,
before she makes a deal with Contour.
yeah, let me give your,
No.
I'll get contact information from you on
Okay.
who we should talk to, okay?
Yeah, but I'm still asking
No.
for the extra help. Whether he helps me with that hedgerow or not, we still have other things that need to be,
No, we understand. We
addressed.
understand.
So I'm still asking you to consider it
Sure.
in the budget,
Sure.
okay?
Yep.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for coming in.
I'm going to be leaving, so I need to give you my, Gina, thank you. I'll get over with you.
County Road, 1405 Graymore Way.
Cell number is 315.
So the
32.
public hearing for the town budget for November 4th,
Phone number.
I would ask the board to at least put it online get the proposed budget up, hopefully that Monday or Tuesday, to give people a couple days to look, that, if they have questions.
That's it.
To
You
come
leave me a
in.
message if,
And the only other thing I have is, last week I attended the budget work session and was told that the public could not have dialogue with the town board. At the previous meeting, town board meeting, town supervisor enlightened us of new rules, where this won't be a question and answer
Well,
session.
there's not a road.
But in that
It's
part,
one hedge row.
when you brought it back up at supervisors comments, you did state that
And what's
work
your first name?
sessions would have an open
Yeah.
day. So I would just like clarity on that.
Alright. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Fred Birch, 865 Plainville Road. Why my mind's thinking about it here regarding the Lysander cemetery that the area that Nancy was speaking about. And then, Al, you mentioned about there's a couple trees in there that are about 1.5 to 2 feet. I'll take them out.
Okay.
That way your machine will be able to do everything else that's left there. You
Okay.
can clear that out. I'll bring the excavator in and build up the road for them.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to have to take down all that ratty stuff that's 1.5 inches or 2 or 3 inches in diameter. The chainsaw, that stuff is worse than taking down big trees.
From a time standpoint, for sure.
Dangerous standpoint too, as well. So that's excellent. If we can work that out, I know exactly what they want to get
Okay.
done if you want to meet out there. And then what Nancy was talking about regarding the cemeteries, my family is in Jacksonville. I just know from being there quite often that they get a lot more burials than does Plainville or Lysander, which is why they have more funds, available. Plainville or Lysander might average 2 or 3 burials a year. So, and I know Jacksonville is probably 2 or 3 times that. And the only other thing I had, I heard on the news yesterday, New York State passed a new open meeting law regarding documents that if they're going to be discussed at a town board meeting, that they have to be made available on a public website at least 24 hours before they're discussed. In other words, they're trying to get rid of that add it 15 minutes before the meeting thing that sometimes people do. So I don't know if you guys have heard about it or got any information from it, but I guess it's effective immediately from when they passed it yesterday. So I would also ask that if they could also be made available on a bulletin board in the foyer as well. And
Well, we're going to comply with the law. I haven't read it yet. Councilor Kudaraskis informed me of it today. I wasn't familiar with that, but certainly we're going to comply with the law.
there's a few articles that are online if you Google search, but I would just ask in addition to the town website if they could be made available to the public on the bulletin board as well. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Will Stoll, 61 Brown Street. Just on the cannabis legislation, I know that a couple months prior said that we were going to wait for New York State to make its final determination on how they're going to govern everything before legislation was introduced. And now we have legislation, and as far as I know, New York State hasn't finalized everything. So I just think it's maybe a little premature to decide what we're going to do as a town before we have all the information. That's it. Thanks.
Okay. Anyone else? No? Supervisors' comments. So when we, certainly we want to help out our cemeteries. As our town clerk points out, if, and our attorney, if they were to be abandoned, we'd have to take them over. So we're going to certainly help out the cemeteries as much as we can. I think there's a pretty much consensus on the board that we're going to do what it needs to take to keep the cemeteries running. So that's all I have. Why don't we start with you tonight, Mr. Diamond?
It's always nice seeing Nancy and other people in the community come out to advocate for the cemeteries. I've always been very interested in history. I think the history of our town, some of the founding fathers of our town. Anything the town can do to support the cemeteries is huge. And like it's been said before, it's an investment. At some point, the towns could easily fall into a situation where the town has to service it completely, and the expense there will be significant. So anything we can do to help, I would support it. That's all I have to say.
I'll stick to the agenda tonight.
So it's holiday season ready. Can you get this on camera? I'm on the Canton Wood Senior, the board, the Senior Center, and they do their annual wreath sale, which raises money for all the programs and things that they do there. I just would encourage, I was so pleased that Canton Woods is operating through all of this crazy COVID stuff, and they are just a phenomenal organization. And for those who may not remember, the Village of Baldwinsville, the town of Van Buren, and the town of Lysander support that senior center, and most of the programs are free. In fact, I think just about all of them are. And it's just a great place for folks to go to and just be with other people, play cards, do a lot of different things. So anyway, holiday wreath sale, and it's on our website too. Thanks.
I would just like to echo what Councilman Diamond said. It is good to see people coming up and advocating for the cemeteries, and I'm glad that the town is in the position to help out, primarily because it's the right thing to do. So thank you. And thank you for everyone for coming as well.
Okay. Department head reports. Mr. Rizzico, nothing. Mr. Morrell?
Annual holiday Halloween window painting this Saturday. So feel free to stop out. Kids and families be around the village from 10 to 1. We've got almost 200 kids signed up, and enough businesses right downtown. 200 windows to be painted. We've got asbestos at the house almost. The abatement of that almost completed. Okay. Concrete on the sidewalk finally as work has started there. They were there this morning putting the forms together, and if all holds well, he's telling me they're going to pour concrete on Tuesday.
Great.
Knock on wood for that. So, that's it.
Mr. Yeager?
Some good news on the LED conversion for our streetlights. We finally got a closing date out of National Grid of November 15th. Our contractor has indicated that, if everything falls in line, they're going to mobilize the 16th and start that conversion process. So, it's been a long road coming, but we finally got a closing date out of National Grid to start that LED conversion project.
And then those new poles that were put in over the summer?
They should, so the National Grid asked me for some additional information just last week on wattages of the fixtures that were put in, and the counts have been established for the new lights. So that was the last step in them finalizing the work orders for energization of those new lights. So hopefully they'll, in the next couple of weeks, power those up.
And just so people know, I know that you've gotten a number of calls. I received a number of calls, and we gave people tentative times when we thought the lights were going to go in.
Yeah.
And it was out of our control. We gave them our best anticipated start date, but it was because of National Grid and the PSC holding us off on a closing date that pushed everything out. So hopefully some people are watching this tonight, and they understand that it wasn't us pushing things out. It was National Grid and PSC and things that were out of our control, why it's taken so long.
It took two and a half months to get them to accept our insurance certificates.
That's right. So, but at least we got a closing date, so that's good. And then it should move along fairly quickly after that.
The equipment's all on site. We have all the equipment. It's, the contractor feels that they're going to be about a month to do the conversions.
Right, for everything?
Yeah, to do all the light conversions, yeah.
Okay. All right. Ms. Colin?
Yes, in your boxes, you should have received a copy of the September to October Assessors Report. Senior citizen and disability exemption renewals for next year for 2022 have been mailed to property owners, and they are being processed in the office and updated as received. The deadline for exemption applications, renewals or new ones, is always March 1st each year, so this year would be March 1st of 2022. All other exemption renewals, agricultural, nonprofit, etc., are being processed for mailing in December. Inventory changes for 2022 are entered as building permits are completed. Our field review of incomplete building permits will be scheduled from October through February as the weather permits. A total of 373 Town of Lysander sales were reviewed for the 2022 valuation purposes, and these are the valuation usable sales that will be used by the state to determine our level of assessment or our full market values for the 2022 assessment roll. A review of all residential neighborhoods sales to assessments will be completed using a plus 10% time adjustment. This review will indicate the level of assessment in each of the neighborhoods and the actions needed to maintain an 100% level of assessment for next year for 2022. Commercial properties will be reviewed, sales to assessments, by property use type. So if it's a restaurant, we're looking at restaurant sales. If it's a gas station, it's a little different than houses. And countywide commercial sales will be used in that process. Vacant land will be reappraised if review of sales to assessments indicate a level of assessment below 95% for 2022. The State Office of Real Property Tax Services has been notified that the Town of Lysander will be maintaining assessments at 100% for 2022, and that's if the board is in agreement with that. The deadline for notification is November 1st. Preliminary numbers from the state indicate a residential value increase across Onondaga County between 6 and 12%. Sales used for that evaluation are July 1, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. So we're almost always a year behind what's actually happening. And attached to your report, we've talked over budget. Attached to your report, over the last 3 months, we've been talking about when towns last did revals, what their levels of assessment are. We've talked about equalization rates and what they're used for. So tonight we're talking a little bit about reassessments. Municipal-wide reassessments are the best way to ensure that assessments are fair and accurate as the market changes over time. Reassessments ensure you pay only your fair share of taxes. And in this example, they have 3 properties that are all assessed at $100,000. And those values were done 20 years ago. And they all pay $2,000 based on that $100,000 assessment. But the problem is the current market value of property A is actually $300,000 because values have gone up. Property B, the value is $200,000 because that value had gone up. And property C didn't see any increase in value at all and was at $100,000. So property A and B are still paying the same amount of taxes as property C, which is incorrect, even though their market value has increased over the years. Property A and B should be paying more taxes than property C because their market values are higher. If the properties in this example were fairly assessed, property A would pay $3,000, property B would pay $2,000, and property C would actually see their taxes go down and they would pay $1,000. So basically, without a reassessment, property C is actually subsidizing the tax bill of property A and property B, and this is because what one property owner doesn't pay, the rest of the property owners in the town pay. And on the second page, it says reassessments don't increase the amount of taxes that need to be collected by local governments. It just distributes the tax base equitably. And an analogy, the total amount of taxes collected is a pie. The size of the pie is determined by city councils, town boards, school boards, county legislatures. The assessor doesn't impact the size of the pie. They just ensure that the pie is cut up fairly and that taxes are distributed based on current market values. So that's the purposes of the reassessment. Questions?
You've talked about this quite a bit.
We've talked about this quite a bit, yes.
I would say I'm probably in my sophomore year of assessment. You know, I will graduate in a couple more years, but you brought me up to speed, so I don't have any questions.
The only point that I would, the question I might ask is, this is excellent, and, you know, there's such a, this explanation here. I'm not so sure it would satisfy everybody that read it, but at the very least, it would be nice if people do ask the question, can we put this on our webpage? But don't just put a link, maybe actually copy the whole article. Because it's probably the one question that each of us gets, or any town board member, my assessment's going up and my taxes are going up. And it's hard to explain to them the difference between an assessment going up and taxes going up, staying the same, or whatever, and that they are not exactly tied to one another. So, you know, for what it's worth, this is probably a step in the right direction to letting folks know. And I don't know where it would go on our webpage, but Dina, Teresa can figure that out.
I'll put it under notices and then it'll connect to the assessor.
Or maybe a headline, if you want to know about assessments and how they all work, and then
Call Teresa's cell phone.
yeah, right.
Okay, perfect.
And we may want to actually pare this down a little bit, and maybe include, we're talking about including some kind of a cover letter with information with our change of assessment notices that go out next year.
And my only recommendation on anything we do, whether it's the assessor doing this or the Parks Department, is some kind of teaser on our webpage, you know, that some kind of, you know, if you wanted to know more about this, you know, go here, as opposed to having folks kind of look high and low for something.
Yes, because this is actually on the state website, but finding it is very difficult. Yes.
That's what I was saying.
Okay. I think over the past year, you've come in and given me and the rest of the citizens some good lessons on assessments, and I think your explanations are very good. And I want to continue to do that because I know that this is a subject that most people don't understand. And until I got into this position and you and I have our regular talks, I didn't have a clear understanding of it either. I think I do now. But I like what you're doing, and I think it's the more we do it, the better.
Yes.
The more informed people will be. So, thanks.
Yep.
Okay, Ms. Falcone.
So regarding the holiday wreaths from Canton Woods, I help out Evie. I've been helping her collect money, and so if anybody wants to order a wreath and they want it delivered here, I can call, you know, I can collect the money and she can bring the wreaths here, but they are gorgeous and they smell amazing and they last a long time. So I highly encourage everyone to buy a wreath.
So what you're saying is if people want a wreath, they can call you and bring the money in, and
I'll take the
you'll have
orders.
them here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you can call directly and they will deliver them to your house, which is amazing.
She's great. It's a great thing that they do.
Okay. $25 and $30.
It's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell my wife because I think I'd have about 30 of them. So. All right.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that's it?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we'll move on to the regular agenda items. We're going to table motion A, and we're going to add motion K. So may I have a motion authorize the town of Lysander to hold a public hearing to hear citizens against for or against the 2022 fire protection agreement by and between the town board of the town of Lysander and Enterprise Fire Company Number 1, West Phoenix Fire Protection Agreement, on Tuesday, November 4th, 2021, at 7 p.m. in Lysander Town Hall, and authorize the town clerk to advertise for sale.
I'll move it.
I'll second it. Any discussion?
Well, just the one little correction, it's Thursday, November 4th, as opposed to Tuesday.
Did I say Tuesday?
Yeah, just a little.
It says Thursday here, so I just misspoke, so Thursday. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to authorize the Town of Lysander to hold a public hearing to hear citizens for or against the tentative 2022 Town of Lysander budget on Thursday, November 4th, 2021 at 7 p.m. in Lysander Town Hall, and to authorize the town clerk to authorize for same.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to authorize the Town of Lysander to hold a public hearing to hear citizens for or against the proposed Tarpon Towers 2 LLC and Bell Atlantic Mobile System, which is Verizon's special use permit application for the construction of a 120-foot cellular communications tower located at 7780 Hicks Road on Thursday, November 18th at 2021 at 7 p.m. in Lysander Town Hall, and to authorize the town clerk to advertise for same.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? So the tower that they're talking about is Hicks Road at Gloria, right? That's Gloria's right there. And it would be off in the field. So on the, is it the 30th that they're flying the balloon?
Yep.
30th from 9 to 1.
Yep.
So if you're interested, where it would be and where it's located, on October 30th from 9 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, there will be a balloon that's going to be up in the air, so you'll be able to see how high it is in the location if anybody's interested.
If it's raining or too windy, the alternative date is November 1st, Monday, November 1st from 9 to 1.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to authorize the budget modification request submitted by the town comptroller to transfer $16,000 from A0-7020-106 to A0-7110-401 regarding the clearing and grubbing of 8431 Smoky Hollow Road for the construction of athletic fields.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Why don't you explain that, Mr. Mayor?
So that's for, I mean, as it says, the clearing of the clump of ash trees and other undergrowth that's at the back side of the 8431 property, which we're in the process of beginning for development. The money is moving from an account that wasn't used this year. And in order to use that and get this done, we're moving to another account so we can make a contract with this company to do the work. They're going to do it over the winter months, so it keeps the cost down. Actually, they'll hopefully, if the ground is frozen, will actually help with less damage to the ground as well. So.
And that'll be that would be the north parking lot, in between the north parking lot and the house that we bought, and clearing out those areas to put the fields in, and eventually put some additional parking in there. And the majority of the money that's going to be used for those fields are going to be come from grant money. We don't have all of the grant money yet, but we do have some allocated and some that are in the works. So.
And just for the benefit of the folks listening, watching, what is the goal, Kevin, in terms of what kind of fields and how many?
It would be multi-use fields that space there when we're done with it. And Al, we've looked at it, and it should be approximately 100 yards, pretty much 100 yards by
60 yards. So we have enough room to make 2 full-size fields, basically.
Yeah, 2 full-size 100, not football fields, which would need 120 yards, but we would easily get 2 soccer fields, 2 lacrosse fields there if we turn them perpendicular to our driveway. Or if we needed to, we could always flip it and have one field going parallel.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to authorize the town supervisor to sign the agreement with City View Construction for the clearing and grubbing of 8431 Smoky Hollow Road for the construction of athletic fields at a cost not to exceed $16,800.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to authorize the town clerk to advertise for bids for the town of Lysander street light maintenance contract, with all bids to be submitted to the town clerk's office no later than November 3rd, 2021 at 10 a.m.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. I have a motion to authorize the town of Lysander to levy unpaid 2021 water bills onto the 2022 county town tax bills.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to accept the resignation of Cindy Halstead effective November 4th, 2021?
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? So Cindy helps our receiver of taxes with during tax time. She's retired. She's still on the Board of Assessment.
Yes, she's going to,
Review.
yeah, she's going to continue with the Board of Assessment review, but she doesn't like to get out in the wintertime for the January tax bills, so.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to amend the 2021 Town of Lysander employee holiday schedule to reflect the following days off. Friday, December 24th, 2021, Monday, December 27th, 2021, and Monday, January 3rd, 2022.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Ms. Falcone, you want to explain what happened?
Yeah, so the on the organizational agenda, the days didn't match with the dates. So if it was Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve was on Friday. So we changed it.
You're looking at the wrong calendar.
Yeah, well,
Monday, December 27th, what day is that? What's that day?
Because Christmas is on Saturday.
What was that?
Christmas is on Saturday.
Okay.
so we just had to clarify it for this year.
Yeah, the holiday schedule shows that we're having Saturday the 25th off, which is Christmas Day, but that's the Saturday.
You're having that day off already, right?
Well, not to belabor it, just to remind me, the 27th is the holiday pay, I mean, the holiday day off for Christmas, but have we always given Christmas Eve off too? That's,
It's been a half a day for Christmas Eve, and we have a floater from when they took Election Day away, that we used half of the floater for another half day Christmas Eve.
so this is new then, this December 24th?
No, it was on the schedule, the holiday schedule, but it was shown as no, it was shown as the 23rd, I think, or something.
The
date
dates
was-
didn't correspond with the days.
The date didn't correspond with the days.
Right, but I guess what I'm asking is, and I just want to make sure I'm clear, we've always given Christmas, the 24th as a half day, but we're giving it as a whole day.
That was negotiated in the contract.
That was negotiated?
Yeah, but there's no more floater anymore.
There's no more float.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Okay. Motion K, may I have a motion to change the rate of pay for Alicia Colbaum from $15.50 per hour to $17.60 per hour, retroactive from January 1, 2021 to the first pay period in June 2021, and change the rate of pay for Alicia Colbaum from to $18.70 as of the first pay period in June 2021 retroactive from the first pay period of June, or in June 2021.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Okay, I have something to say about this. We negotiated a contract, and I wanted to bring everybody up to, you know, one of the things that I wanted to do was make sure that all our employees were brought up to a level that was either medium or above. And I think this, a 17% raise on this one, I don't agree with the highway superintendent. I don't agree with his justification for this, and I think this was too much of an increase for the first year. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm opposed. Any abstentions? Okay, motion carried. I believe we need an executive session tonight, and let's see. The executive session is for the employment, to discuss the employment history of a particular person with our employment. That's what that's for. So may I have a motion to move into executive session at 7:41?
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.